What's up, guys? You are back at the Real Deal with Casey and Jason, where we talk real life, real experiences, and occasionally real estate.
That was awesome.
So testing out the new intro.
Well
there
done.
it is.
Well
We haven't really talked real estate a whole lot yet. However, that is our profession. So maybe we should give a brief real estate update. What's happening in the market here in Cecil County and the surrounding areas, Delaware, Pennsylvania. You're licensed in
Maryland and Delaware.
Maryland and Delaware. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if you had PA. What are you seeing out there? Market, just general observations.
Very low inventory.
A lot of buyers looking, but not a lot of houses to buy.
Yeah, surprisingly, with the way that rates have increased over the past, 6 to 12 months, you'd say?
Yeah, probably the last, from probably this time last year up through just the last month or so, they were pretty much increasing.
Yeah.
And we finally saw them start to level off a little bit, which is nice.
Lots of buyers still. I thought, and I think that did take some of the buyers out of the market, but I expected far less buyer activity than we still have. I was actually talking to an agent this morning at the gym, and she was like, "What are you seeing?" And I was like, "Well, I just submitted an offer on the house yesterday, and I don't know how many offers I had, but it was multiple offer, and some of the offers were crazy high over list price." And, I told her it kind of feels like, because we have such low inventory, it kind of feels like that early 2021 again.
Kind of a frenzy again.
Yeah, where things were going crazy and, simply a function, well, I don't want to say simply, but definitely a function of low inventory.
Yeah. I personally have seen definitely a big increase, and maybe it was the new year, holidays, whatever it was, but definitely since, I would say, the last, couple weeks since the new year, a lot of new buyers entering the market. Seems to be a good time to get back in the market as a buyer. Mm-hmm. It's not as crazy, I don't think, as it was. Maybe it's getting back there, but
right.
I think the main message is if you were out of the market because of you were thinking it was too much or rates were too high, it's not a bad time to look again.
Yeah, no, it's not.
You're not completely priced out like you were this time last year or 2021, I guess.
Have you had any buyers that bought in that time frame that have refied since? Or have rates not really done enough for that?
They haven't really came down enough to make it warrant that. So no, but I think anybody who's bought the last 2 to 3 years, at some point in the next 2 to 3 years, they're definitely going to have a chance to refinance and save some money.
Right.
Which is nice.
Yeah, so just to clarify, if you haven't watched the first episode or two, Casey's a loan officer.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that good?
Yeah, loan officer, mortgage lender, whatever you want to call it.
Mortgage lender, yeah, and I'm a real estate agent, so
that's our tie-in to the occasional real estate that you'll hear here.
Part of the real deal.
Yep. But what we really want to talk about and focus this show on, if you're new here, and thank you so much for everyone who's listened so far, dude. I've been like, I don't want to say surprised, because I was hopeful that people would listen to our podcast and our YouTube channel, but just really grateful more than anything that so many people have reached out, said, "Hey, we listened to the show, we love it, you guys seem genuine." I'm like, man, that's what we wanted.
That's what we were looking for.
And it's connected with people, which is awesome. So thank you all so much. If you're new, whatever however you found us, we're now on Apple, Spotify, RSS, whatever that is. Nick,
no idea. Thanks, Nick.
YouTube,
Amazon's coming.
Amazon,
too. Yeah.
So we're getting this all out there. We have some artwork in the way, so we'll actually have a logo pretty soon, which is awesome.
Yeah, Nick is really excited about. I mean, I know you and I are excited, but like he's like, man, I want to like decorate the channel up. I want to do it up.
We're gonna brand this thing. We want to brand it. But so far, I think that's a good lesson right there. Is that like, let's just do it. Let's start going. Let's not wait for everything to be in line. Let's just push forward. And nobody seems to care that we just have a green T as our logo right now, which is cool.
Yeah, and they only see this angle and that angle. They don't see all the other. I mean, like this is far from a podcast studio, right? I mean, we call it but it's all we need.
It's a studio.
It's all we need.
Yeah, it's yes, correct. And you know what? If at any point we have to move, we'll have a setup there, and
we'll figure it out.
We'll make it work, because the most important thing is delivering the messages that we think are going to help people. And so far, it seems like that's happening. So thank you so much. If you have been tuning in, give us a like, share, subscribe. It helps reach more people, which is awesome.
tell us what you think. Leave us some comments.
Absolutely. Feedback is very welcomed. Also, if you have questions, we want feedback because then it gives us ideas for future shows that we can do.
Yes.
And we want to answer any questions and just provide our experiences on different things. So yeah, appreciate that. So today we have a whole list of topics. Today we want to hit on something, again, kind of ties into the whole personal development journey, but consistency.
Yep.
Habits, morning routines, all those things, they kind of build on each other as you start a personal development, whatever you want to call it, journey. And consistency, just how important that is, what it leads to, and how it helps you grow in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, I think Chris said it really well last week. I'm pretty sure it has probably come up in episodes 1 and 2, but the thought behind creating these habits to become the best version of yourself, whatever that looks like, because that looks different for everybody. But when he said that last week, and I'm sure we've talked about it, I was like, yeah, that's it. And that's the things that I try to implement in my life, and I know that you try to implement in your life, are for that reason, because maybe you're not necessarily falling short, but you just know there's more that can be done, and just trying to become the best version of ourselves.
Yep. And the reason that consistency and habits are so important in that is you just said become the best version of yourself. You can't become something unless you do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, for example, getting in shape. Or whatever your goals are there, getting in, a 6-pack, whatever your goals are. Yeah. You can't do that by doing 1,000 crunches in a day.
And then nothing for a week or whatever the case may be.
Exactly. You have to become the person that, before you can receive anything, before you can actually become that person, you have to do the consistent actions on a daily basis that work you towards that.
And probably when you don't feel like doing them.
Especially when you don't feel like doing it.
Right.
And I think that's why health and fitness ties in so much to what we always talk about, because you can't cheat that. That has to be a consistent long-term thing. You can't. And everybody out there, this is January 27th. So we're 27 days into everyone's New Year's resolution. Nobody lost 30 pounds in the last 27 days. No. So it just gives you a perspective that you have to have a long-term plan of consistent small actions that lead you to where you want to go.
Yep.
So with that being said, do you want to share what are some of your daily habits, daily routines, things that have led you to where you've made progress in your life?
Yeah, I'll start with fitness, because that's the longest running habit that has been a part of my life. But I have acquired a couple new ones recently. Yeah, so fitness for me started probably back in high school as a function of being a part of a sports team and practicing at the same time every day. And we were a part of multiple sports seasons, so it was pretty much year round.
That there was summer lifting workouts.
Yeah, some sort of physical activity that was happening on a routine basis all the time.
Yep.
And so that kind of just got ingrained in us that this is what you do. And the more you practice at something, the better you get at whatever that thing is, whether it's a mental thing, a physical thing, whatever the case may be. Well, when you're done high school, you don't have, we played college sports. When you're done, whatever that last chapter is, those routines kind of go out the window, and you need to create them for yourself. So fitness became that routine for me. It just kind of transitioned.
What was that like for you when you stopped playing? You played at Cecil, played baseball. When you stopped playing baseball at the collegiate level, what was that process like? Was there a gap there between when you were doing anything fitness wise? Like, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, it definitely looked nothing like it does now, for sure. I was in a completely different place in my life, and I don't have the best memory of that, but I'd venture to guess it was, a couple days a week, different times of the day.
Kind of sporadic.
Yeah, sporadic, like almost consistently inconsistent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, fast forward to when I became a real estate agent, I was starting to get into fitness a little bit more, and so that was probably my late 20s.
Yeah.
And that's when I think I was probably going to the gym in the afternoon, and I would be interrupted by real estate stuff.
Like I'd have a plan to go to the gym, and then somebody would want to see a house. And if it was 3 o'clock, well, I got to go show that house. And so I quickly found out that nobody's going to want to see a house at 5 a.m. If I want to get my workout in, that's when I got to do it.
Got to start early, yeah.
Right. And I can tell you that I'm still doing that today, 5, 6, 7 days a week, just depending on the week. But that I definitely don't wake up excited about doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily a morning person, even though I wake up early.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's a morning person. I do the same. I still wake up. Now I've been waking up earlier now just recently because I'm also on a New Year's kick.
Yeah,
I want to get back on it. So I'm getting up at like 4:30, which is brutal, and I haven't been that consistent with it. But on a normal day week, I'm up at like 5 to 5:30, somewhere in there. But going back to one other thing. So when I played at Youngstown State baseball, Division I athlete, and but after a whole lifetime of sports and being summer workouts and football, and then baseball working out, and then Cecil for 2 years working out, and then Youngstown for 2 years, I got done college and I didn't do anything.
Yeah,
for a solid, from 21 to probably 26, 27. I'm talking 5-6 years. I didn't do anything physical.
Right.
I still walked maybe, but it wasn't even intentional.
Yeah, I can't imagine you did nothing. But as far as routines and things like that go,
no consistency whatsoever. I didn't lift weights.
Yeah.
I didn't jog. I didn't run. I didn't do any of that. And I ended up going to the doctor because I used to have heartburn so bad that I would take whatever over-the-counter medicine. I would take it like 2-3 times a day. Because every time I ate, even if I didn't eat, I would have heartburn so bad that it was like I couldn't get rid of it. So I went to the doctor, and they weigh you, they take your height, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I walked in the office, and I'm like, he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, I got a terrible heartburn. I just need a prescription for it. And he's like, "Do you know how much you weigh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know, 215, 220." He's like, "You're 248 pounds."
For you.
I remember thinking, "There's no way." There's no way I'm 248. And he's like, yeah, we just weighed you. He's like, you got to lose some weight, dude, and cut back on the booze in the bottle.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, 248. I had a young, Clara was young at the time. I don't think she was even 1. And I had adopted the whole dad bod, screw it. Like, this is what happens. You get older, you get bigger, you get a different shape.
That's what we're told. That's what people say all the time. And it's almost like a badge.
Yeah.
Of like, this is what happens.
Yeah. Getting older, I'm married. What I could rock the dad bod.
Yeah.
But at that point I was like, I need to be alive for my kid, and I want to have some longevity here. So I started then working out again, and I eventually worked my way down a pretty good ways. I lost like 20 pounds probably that next year, and then I kind of kept progressing, kind of on and kind of off. But what really changed and it got me into as close to the best shape and into the best shape of my life was the program 75 Hard, which I can't even express how much that's changed me as a person. Physically great. Like I went from the first time I did it 208 pounds down to 186 pounds. So wow. I lost, 20 pounds in 75 days. But it really brings back what we're talking about, which is the daily consistency, because it's only a handful of things. You do them every single day for 75 days straight. And I just needed that. I never had really put something into place that I was that consistent with.
Do you think it was the structure that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I feel the same way, that something was kind of there for you and you didn't have to create it? Was that helpful for you?
So for me, the helpful part was that there's no room for deviation in the program. Exactly, kind of what you said.
Rigid.
Yeah, it was this. And the 75 Hard program, they don't lay out what you have to do. So they say you do 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes each. One has to be outside.
Gotcha.
But it doesn't say you have to go lift weights or you do chest Monday. So as far as the creating the program and what you're actually doing, that's on you.
Gotcha.
But what it did for me was it created a space where there was no flexibility in, did you do it or did you not do it? Every single day, 75 days straight, did you do your workout? Did you not do it? did you do it for 45? Was one outside? Right. You know, so it was like, I need that. I never done
accountability.
Yeah, it's accountability to yourself of completing the task every single day and being consistent with it, which I'm one of those people that I'm kind of either all in or all out. Mm-hmm. So I just needed that, and I never fully committed to let's get it done. So anybody out there, if it gets a bad rap for it's an extreme program because you have to follow a diet. It doesn't tell you what diet. You have to do the 2 workouts, which nobody has time for. You have to read 10 pages of a book, which we should all be, doing.
Great habit.
Yeah.
It really is a great habit.
Yep. Drink a gallon of water, which, it's all things that what I like about it. It's all things that you can do in a day, and it's a choice whether you do them or you don't do them.
Right.
But 75 days straight of that, it completely changed my life. And now I haven't been perfect since I stopped the program. I did it first in 2020 and then in 2021. I haven't been perfect by any means, but it has pulled so many of those habits that I was really consistent for those 75 days forward. So right. Even when I'm not on the program, I still do read. I still do get my workout in. I still do watch what I eat. I don't, wasn't 100% strict with it, but I think that that consistency it made all the difference. And it was only a short period. You're talking 75 days.
Yeah. And now you also work out occasionally with our buddy Remo.
Yeah. So me and Remo, when I was doing 75 hard the first time, and just to set the stage, again, I was 210. I'm 5'10". I was 200 and almost 10 pounds. Okay. My first 45-minute workout, I walked for 45 minutes because that's all I could do.
But dude, that is so. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to go, and you shouldn't. I don't recommend going. I don't know if I should have used the word recommend because I don't want anybody to rely on what I'm saying necessarily. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not a doctor. Is what I'm trying to say. Let's just put that out there, but. It's not smart to go from 0 to 100. There's a good chance that if you do that, then you're not going to stick with whatever that thing is. If it's fitness, if it's reading, if you try to read 80 pages in a day for the first time that you read, good luck.
Just like, yeah, exactly. But towards the end of that program, going back to Remo, he's like, hey, of course I'm friends with Remo. What's up, dude?
Remo.
But he's like, we should work out together. He's got a gym in his basement. So I started lifting weights with him. And that was the first time I'd actually lifted weights since I left college in 2010. So we're talking over 10 years.
Yeah. That's probably a little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
But kind of getting into helpful to have somebody do it with you.
Accountability partner is huge.
Right.
Yep. So if you're at the point where you don't have a habit and you're not consistent, I think that it does go a long way to just start doing something. You don't have to, you're not going to be doing muscle ups, in CrossFit when you haven't worked out in 10 years.
Right.
But do something and do it consistently. And I think, that kind of goes into the habit of, look, make it something that you do every single day. Schedule it in. If it has to be early in the morning, I would recommend that. I think you would too.
Yeah, for sure.
Those things that you want to make sure you get done, you're going to have to set your alarm a little earlier and just get up and do something every day. Have a little small win every day when you first wake up.
Yeah, because, the morning is... I already said why the real estate thing made it important for me to work out in the morning. Yep. But for anybody, things are going to happen throughout your day.
Yeah,
and your day is going to change, or your mood's going to change, or whatever the case may be. At least I found that it was less likely for me to do it if it was planned for later in the day.
Yep. And like you said, being a morning person, I told my daughter this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, because they don't think I sleep. Because I wake up before they get up, and then I put them to bed and I go to sleep after that. So they don't think I sleep, but she was like, what do you mean? Like, you wake up early, like, every day? And I'm like, yeah, I wake up early every day. I don't always want to, like you said. I wouldn't call myself a morning person. I don't wake up with a smile. And I told her the first thing that goes through my head when I wake up is, I wonder if Remo texted me that we're not going to work out today. I kind of hope he texted me so I can go back to sleep.
Definitely.
And then the second thought was always, I should text Remo, tell him I'm tired, tell him I'm beat up, I don't want to work out today. And then the third thought is, get up and get your stuff done. Just make it happen. And you pull yourself out of bed and you get it done.
Yep. Usually when you get into it, you start to feel better. And definitely by the time that it's over with, you're grateful that you've done it. I feel that most often than not.
Absolutely. I can't think of one workout I've ever had that I was like, man, I should have canned this
I
one.
wish I would have slept in or anything like that. I always feel better afterwards. And it's important. You just start, right? You don't have to have the most perfect plan laid out. You don't have to know all the answers. That's a part of creating this habit, finding out what works for you, and learning along the way. And if you could do it with somebody else, I think that's really important. I have my workout partner for most of the week is our buddy Steve.
Yep.
And then I go up to Titus Mondays and Wednesdays, and there's other people there that I work out with that I look forward to being with.
Yeah.
So I think anytime you can create that accountability partner, there's a better chance that you'll stick with that habit for sure.
Yeah, I think so too, especially long term. And I think about myself a lot in this, and a lot of the stuff I did was solo, more because of kind of necessity of having the two kids. And I'm thinking, if I don't get up and do this, I couldn't really leave the house to go to the gym, but like there's been spurts throughout my life where it was like, all right, I was 3 months of really good. I wake up early. I would do P90X. I've done that.
Yeah.
T25, whatever the program is. But I think sticking with it long term, past those that motivation part of like a couple months, I think that's where the accountability partner really comes in.
Yeah. There's a guy, you and I have talked about him. I might pronounce his name wrong. Matt Chenard. He's the cold plunge guy.
Yeah, guys.
That's who I call the cold plunge guy because he's one of the first people that I saw do it.
Guy's an animal.
He is an animal. I think he lives like in British Columbia. It's always cold out there, and this guy is cold plunging in like negative 30-degree Fahrenheit weather, which is just, I can't even fathom that.
Yeah.
But he posts every now and then this same quote, and it says, an imperfect program done consistently will produce better results than a perfect program done inconsistently.
Absolutely.
So find something, start, do it, and continue to do it. Don't not do something because you want it to be perfect.
Yep. Exactly, because it will evolve. And again, going back to this podcast is a perfect example. We wanted to get into the habit of recording a show every week.
Yep.
Which we're both busy. We both have our full-time jobs. This is something that we want to do, but we wanted to get in that habit, that consistency. So we kind of just scheduled it, and we were like, all right, we're showing up Fridays at 10:30.
Figure it out.
We're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like. So this is a great example of that. And then, like you said, don't think about having the perfect program because it's going to evolve, especially if you commit to it for long term. It's going to evolve. It's not going to stay the same. You're not going to be doing the same thing day one that you are 3, 6, 9, 12 months down the road. So it's so important to just start. Another book we haven't talked about yet, but he has a good story in there, Atomic Habits, which is an amazing book about creating habits. If anyone's looking for something, he goes really into the psychology of how to create a habit for yourself. He talks about a guy that lost an extraordinary amount of weight. Going back to the fitness thing, there's such a connection here. He was maybe 200-300 pounds that he ended up losing. And the way he started is he would go to the gym, but he would not stay for more than 5 minutes. But he did it every day, and he never missed a day for like 20 years. I mean, this is a long period of time. But he needed to build the habit of getting up and going to the gym. He didn't need the habit of lifting weights when he was that far away from it. He just needed to get there. And he wouldn't stay too long, but it's that commitment that, look, this is going to happen overnight. So I'm going to commit to this long term. And then that's where the results come from. Yeah,
and there's so many things that are just popping into my head. We talked about it. Like Casey said, he was going for a walk this morning and just had so many ideas in his head. And it's happening right now, kind of as you're talking. Yeah. And like I think I know so many people, including myself, wait to be motivated. To do something, and motivation's fleeting. It comes and goes.
Yes.
So you have to start small and build that momentum to make it become a habit, because even things that are habits for me at least, I don't necessarily consider myself motivated to do them, but I've created so much momentum behind them, and the fact that they're just a part of my daily life, that all of those small steps over time create results in the long term. And then I have not read Atomic Habits yet. My buddy Anthony shot me a message, and I said something to Casey, and Casey said he had read it. And I also need to say that my fiance bought me that book for Christmas, so it's going to happen. I'm going to read it. But I'm also reading The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. And in that book, he writes along the same lines, 95% of ability is stickability.
Yeah.
Just sticking it out and just being consistent.
Yeah. And let's take a little bit of a transition here. In fitness, it's so important because you don't achieve results overnight.
Yeah. In
other areas of our life, I think sometimes we think that we can get results quicker, so maybe we don't need to be consistent. And I want to share something that is very common in our industries. I know it is in the mortgage side, but it goes along with this. When somebody gets licensed as a mortgage loan officer, they're brand new. They have no pipeline. They got their license. They generally start by doing what? Calling everybody they know, sending messages on Facebook.
Sphere of influence.
Start promoting, start putting things on Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case is.
Yep. Start
talking to other people in the business, in the industry. What happens is they do that for a month or 2 months or 3 months. Most of the time, there's a little bit of a lead time coming in. And then after 3 months, they get a couple contracts in. And then they start working on their contracts and working on their deals. And, from the mortgage side, it's putting the loans together and communicating with all parties. And from the real estate side, it's ordering your inspections and making sure everything sticks together with the deal. Mm-hmm. And you close your first couple deals and you're like, man, I made it. I got a paycheck. I'm here. And then you're like, once the deals are closed, your pipeline's gone.
What now?
Then you go back to like, crap, I need to get something going here. And you go prospect really hard and you start building this pipeline up. And we call that the roller coaster in the mortgage business. I know we see it in real estate too. If you can just, with everything in your life that you want to get results, if you make it a small habit that you do every single day, your results will be consistent. They won't be the roller coaster.
Absolutely.
So just think about that. Whatever you have as a goal that you're writing down for your New Year's resolutions, or if it's a long-term goal, figure out how to break it up and just be consistent over a long period of time. Don't worry about doing it all at once.
Yeah. It's going to take some discipline, and there's going to be ebbs and flows, like you said. Yep. Even if you're still doing those things consistently, you're going to have days that are better than others.
Yep.
And you can't let those bad days deter you, because chances are in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, where you will be compared to where you started, you're going to be a lot better off, even if you've had those bad days along the way, just because the momentum is going to build and things are going to add up and produce positive results long term.
Yep, absolutely. Anything else you want to share about a daily or morning routine that you do?
So I was never a reader. You mentioned something along the lines of, maybe it was in episode 2, like how embarrassed you were to say you had never read.
It had been 10 years since I read a book.
Yeah, same thing. And so I don't necessarily have a 10 pages a day habit that I do, but I read every day.
Yeah.
And I can attribute that to my fiance as well. She's a crazy avid reader in the best way, and she's super smart. And I, just seeing her do that and commit to that because she enjoys it every day has helped me jump on too. So having her support is helpful.
So exercising 6-7 days a week is for you. Reading every day. And then in late 2022, we've already touched on it, I've been cold plunging. Plunging?
Yeah.
We're going to do an episode on cold plunging.
Yeah. What does Andy Frisella call it? Direct cold exposure.
That's Andrew Huberman.
Huberman. What does he call it? DCE? I forget what.
And is it intentional? No, deliberate cold exposure.
Yeah. And then I heard somebody else say the other day, get cold on purpose.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. So
December 22nd was the first day in 2022 that I started, and I've done. Today will be. I checked this morning because I knew we were going to talk about this. Today's going to be day 37 in a row that I do it for 3 minutes, and it's just one of those things that you don't want to do, that you're forcing yourself to do, and you teach your body and your mind that you'll be okay, and you get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. I've been dabbling in that, and it's amazing. We're going to do a whole episode at some point. Once we need to build a little more experience, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe we can get Matt on here.
That'd be awesome.
Or somebody who has been doing it for years. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. I feel different. I'll just throw this out there. with any of the habits, but cold plunging especially, I feel different throughout the course of my day when I do it versus when I don't.
Yeah, I mean, for me, at least for the next 2, 3, 4 hours, I feel clearer.
I almost get like a mental high from it. It's weird. Like
I say it's a pretty big dopamine hit.
Insane.
Yeah,
it's almost it's hard to describe, but I mean, until you try it, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it really is. It makes you feel really good. Just like after a workout, like if you do cardio, whatever, you get that I don't know, whatever it is in your brain, the chemicals and endorphins and
adrenaline, the whole deal.
Yeah, you get that that effect where you just feel really good afterwards.
What about you as far as habits?
Yeah, so a couple. So and this is all kind of stemming from the 75 Hard program I did 2 years ago, which is a testament to that, how much I've stuck with it. But working out, whether that is, a run, whether it's just a short 10-minute something or whatever, I do work out probably 6 days a week, reading a handful of pages. I write down my goals. I say every day, probably at least 5 days a week.
That's a really good one.
Really consistent.
That's I can't say that I do that. That's one that I want to adopt.
Yeah,
you're going to inspire me to do. That's a really good one.
Really like that one. What else? I'm trying to think. I had a whole list in my head of stuff that I would do every day. That's the main one. That's the main morning routine. Is I make sure I work out pretty much every day in the morning, writing the goals down. I started a breathing technique, so basically just getting my breathing exercise basically at first thing in the morning. Which, if you guys have questions, we can share information on all this stuff, and we'll get into specifics on it. But I just into creating a habit is making it easy for yourself. We talked about this.
Yeah, I'm glad you're bringing this up.
So, and the way I've done that, one is I keep my journal that I write my goals on. What's one thing everyone does when they first wake up? Well, there's a couple things. Usually use the bathroom, right, is kind of the first one. Brush your teeth, right? I think everyone does that first thing in the morning. So I keep my little gold notebook right next to my toothbrush in the bathroom. So that to me is like a visual cue. It's easy. I can grab a pen. I can jot down the notes and things I want to keep at top of mind for my goals. I also started, so it's been in 6 months now. I do 50 push-ups every morning.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So as soon as I'll wake up, usually, I use the bathroom, and I'll literally drop down on the floor and do 50 push-ups.
That's impressive. Yeah. I mean, that'll wake you up. Yeah. I would imagine. I've never done that.
It brings you right out of a bad mood, a bad mood in the morning.
Yeah, just like,
it brings you right around. So just drop down and do, and I started with 20 because that's all I could do. But for 6 months now, I haven't missed a day.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's one of those little small wins that 50 push-ups isn't going to change your life, but getting that win done every single day and knowing I don't miss it, regardless if I'm sick, if I'm tired, if I'm whatever, it's a small daily habit that I've done. I added pull-ups recently because Remo, I was telling him that we used to do pull-ups. And I wasn't very good at doing pull-ups.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I got to get a pull-up bar. So he shows up at the door one day. He's got a pull-up bar that he got at a yard sale. And ever since then, I'm like, well, this dude bought me a pull-up bar for $2 at a yard sale. I'm going to use it.
Reducing the friction, right? Yeah. You got a pull-up bar there now. So
now it's in my bathroom. So literally, it's like bathroom. I got my goal book right here that I write down right next to my toothbrush. I do push-ups right there on the floor. I have the pull-up bar in my bathroom in the closet. Mm-hmm. So that's my morning routine now. Is I don't leave the bathroom until I got my push-ups done and my goals written down and my pull-ups done.
And you make it easy on yourself.
You make it easy. You remove the friction. It's you go one thing to the next, because guys, we all have habits now. Mm-hmm. You have them, whether they're good habits or not. You have habits, and if you can put, in this book Atomic Habits, if you can put the good habits in front of the ones that you're already doing. He talks about habit stacking. He talks about a lot of things. It's a great book, but that's kind of where I got the idea for the push-ups. I'm like, let's just build it into the daily routine that you're going to do all this stuff anyway.
Right.
So
I think that's great, man.
Yeah, I think we'll keep talking about this as well as time goes on, but good time of year. We got New Year's resolutions. Make them a daily habit, even if it's a small one. Just stick with it and give yourself 3, 6, 9 months, and just see how much it changes your life and how much results you get from it.
Yeah. So real quick, if you could sum it up, some easy ways to start a habit. Make it easy. right? Maybe
make it easy.
Maybe get an accountability partner if you need that. Like, not everybody needs that.
Yep.
But that's helpful if you have somebody else to do it. What
Absolutely.
else?
Make it attractive. So
make it attractive.
So think about the end result you're going to get from the habit.
Right.
Make it obvious. Okay. So another thing, and this is kind of all coming from Atomic Habits, make it obvious. So if your goal is to drink more water, you might need to set a glass of water out on your counter before you go to bed.
That goes along with you putting the notebook there.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Makes it obvious. So you don't forget about it, because if you have the thing, if it's something you have to keep thinking about, it's not going to happen naturally. If you make it obvious and it's right in front of you. Same with if you want to eat less junk food, cookies, whatever. I'm a big cookie guy.
Don't have it in the house.
Yeah. Don't have it in the house. And if you do, don't have it on your counter where you have to walk by it 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Because I'm notorious for that. When we, holidays, if there's a big plate of cookies there, I'm grabbing one almost every time I walk by, right?
Yeah.
You're making a habit obvious, a bad habit.
Yeah.
So make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it something that you can do every day.
Yeah. Try to stay consistent every day.
Yeah. Like with 75 hard, it's not run a marathon every day. It's do something every day for 45 minutes, but make it something you can do every single day. I think that'll go a long way with, you're not going to get to the point where you just can't complete it. It's literally a choice. Am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it?
Yeah.
Things come up, obviously, but don't make it something that you can't do every single day.
You just said run a marathon a day. We actually have a friend who right now is doing that. Dude,
I major props to him. That is amazing.
Yeah, Jeremy Ritz, who was one of my former teachers, and him and Mr. Fontana, who was also a teacher at Bow. Courage Pays Better Than Fear is their podcast.
Yep.
And Jeremy Ritz is literally today, he should be running 27.1 miles or something like that.
Amazing. So he did, it's 1.3 miles day 1 of the month, and you add a mile every single day till the end of the month.
So 27.3. He's running more than a marathon today.
Correct. And he's done every single day this month. He's done 1 mile additional.
Yeah.
So stacking on. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I love it. I think that just shows some kind of grit and determination. That's something that, his body has got to be feeling it at this point.
I'd be out.
Can you imagine?
Day 1.
Holy cow, that takes a long time, dude.
Props to you.
Yeah, absolute props, man. That's awesome. And I think there is a cause behind it as well. I need to look a little bit more into that so we can help share that cause and what it is. I think it's a fundraiser of some sort. Mm-hmm. And we'll do a collaboration with them at some point, because they've recently started a podcast too.
It's a Bow Manor collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. But yeah, super props to him. Let's wrap it there, guys. Thank you again if you're tuning into the show. If you like what you're hearing, please again, like, comment, subscribe. It helps get the message out to more people. Please give us questions. We want to answer them and kind of interact with everyone as part of this. And until next time, this is The Real Deal.
See you guys.
See ya.